we we are live.
Let's
We are
go.
officially live here at Beach Break. We're here. Look at
We're
that.
here.
We're
We're
both
here.
over here. Hoo,
Bray
hoo,
Wyatt.
hoo, hoo.
Where's the candle?
So, oh man, I have the fish.
It's
I have the
working.
fish here. I have Mimo.
There you go.
So this is the first time we're doing the podcast live. This is the first time that I went to a show and I got I got a vlog going up as we speak. It's uploading to YouTube currently right now. So by the time you watch this, it's live. Link will be in the description down below of AEW Beach Break 2026 vlog, the first show they ever did in Clearwater, I believe.
I mean, I think it was definitely the first time they did it at what was that?
The bass,
Baycare.
yeah, Baycare Sound or Bay Sound or something.
So you were there, which is why
Mm.
there'd be a vlog going up. I got the chance to watch at
Yeah.
home. I do want to ask you a few questions, I think, right off
Mm.
the hop, just from the viewing experience at home versus live.
Yeah.
First off, I saw people were comparing it to Daly's Place, and I know you've been there. What
Mm.
do you feel that it was comparable?
It's comparable, but it's on the different coasts. So like the show's like the pre-matches started at like 7:30. So the sun was still setting. So pretty much through until 8 o'clock, we had the sun blasting in our eyes. So that's a
Oh,
little bit different from Daly's Place being on the East Coast compared to the West Coast.
there
Overall,
was a
temperature wise, the temperature is was hotter, but as the show progressed, you had that cool breeze from the beach, and it was good for me as a Florida native.
so that was going to be my next thing is
Mm.
the commentary team during the Jericho and Champa match brought up the humidity and the heat, and I mean
Yep.
even during the Omega MJF
Oh,
match, you could
definitely. He
see
had a bunch of
the
sand in his eye from
and
out
I
there.
mean I mean they were just drenched. Even I
Mm.
think it was Fletcher and Takeshita. I mean they were using water to cool off at one point for
Yep.
like a spot during the match.
Takeshita did
But
the Triple H thing
yeah,
with the water too.
yeah.
That was cool.
Is that him trying to say he wants to go to NXT? You think?
Oh, maybe. I think he
Do
should have done
you?
the Shawn Michaels son if you want to go to NXT.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he says no. I'm good. I want to go right to the main roster.
Yeah,
He thinks he's main roster ready. Do
I don't
you?
think so.
So for you, you said
Mm.
as the night went on, you guys had the breeze, but like overall, I
Mm.
mean, did you, either you yourself or people around you, were there complaints from the fans of just how hot it was?
I see in online complaints, but like I feel like in the beginning of the show it was hot. I literally had a proper like actual fan that I was fanning myself off with, and I had my phone had a phone. Oh, I had this thing. So this is like it connects to your like it can connect to your phone and cool down your phone. It's USB powered, but I had this on myself. Put that on my friend for the beginning of the show and cooled us down. So this thing gets really cold. So shout out to Newer, good photography brand there.
The unofficial sponsor of
The
the
unofficial podcast of being
not
warm,
so elite,
being cold.
the not so elite podcast.
Yep.
Did I? And obviously, I want to get into the show itself, but
Mm,
a lot of positive reviews online, not only about the show, but
mm.
uh at least how it came across TV, the presentation, the
Oh yeah.
stage, the theme, of Beach Break, and it looked like the crowd was. It sounded like the crowd was hot. It looked like it was
Mm.
basically sold out with all the seats that they had available. I mean, I guess just to kind of sum it up, like what overall experience from the atmosphere, the
Mm.
design and everything. You and I have obviously gone to pay-per-views that and you've been to Dynamites as well that are
Yeah.
in the standard venue. So I feel like this was the first time for you that you've gone to an AEW show in kind of a unique setting.
Besides Daly's place, yeah.
Right. Right.
Besides Daily Place, and this is comparative. This I would say I want to say it's definitely easily the best Dynamite I went to. This is probably close to the best AEW show I've ever been to.
Wow.
Just because how short it is. It wasn't too long. Every match was a good match. For me, like I like wrestling, but when you have like an 8 hour show, it's like I can't be excited through the whole show. I'm like I get exhausted.
Which we can
Yeah,
literally say we have been to an 8-hour AEW show.
insane. But I will say,
Crazy.
after the show, I saw like two wrestlers. One of them from Stardom, and I think Maya. girl that does the boob thing. I saw her there.
Oh, Mina.
Mina, yeah, I seen her. People were asking for photos and whatnot. We're walking the same direction to my car, but I don't want to. My friend took a photo for someone else there. I'm like, okay, cool. My friend's like, oh, do you want to take a photo with them? I'm like, nah, I just want to, they want to go home or they want to leave. I don't want to bother them.
How was traffic getting out of there?
Best part is I was not going to Tampa, so it was no traffic. There was traffic for people going to Tampa, like going to the bridge and whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't go to Tampa because I'm not in Tampa. I'm in St. Pete, so it was a little 40-minute drive, no traffic. 40-minute drive there, so probably 30-minute. I don't know. I didn't really time it.
Well, I think that's good to hear. Obviously, I know we'll jump into it. I guess the last thing
Mm,
I'll ask is, so before the show there were dark
mm.
matches, which is a standard in AEW,
Oh yeah,
WWE, TNA, they all do it.
good
But
stuff.
you guys had a bit of a surprise, at least with one, a big surprise, I guess you could
A
say.
big show.
Hey, hey.
He's not no BS. Paul White, yeah, he came out there. There was a tag match. Jay Lethal and some other guy, his friend Brian something, versus Sting Sung. Sting Sung, I don't know his name. Sting Sun and some other guy. This is a tag team match. Jay Lethal had like the ring bell thing, little hammer. So the match ended in DQ, and then they're just
Oh,
beating up these guys. And before you know it, Big Show came out there and laid out, beat them up, two people.
so at this point, I had texted
Mm,
you earlier in the day that Paul White had said he was going to be appearing,
mm.
and I thought it was going to be on TV. So
Oh,
to kick into the show now,
mm.
it starts out with a bang, Ciampa and Jericho. I at least thought they had a
Yep,
pretty damn good match.
pretty good match.
Um,
Great way
and
to start the show. Everyone's singing Judas there. I surprisingly knew a lot of the lyrics after all these years.
yeah, and they immediately jumped into like the use of the props and whatnot with like the beach chairs. Like Ciampa got suplexed onto one. It looked
Mm.
like horrifically painful, actually.
Oh yeah,
Um,
real beach
but
chair.
and I thought they had a really good match. But then, so at this point, I did not know that Paul White had already been on the dark or the dark matches.
Oh yeah.
Ciampa's beating down Jericho after. I thought, is Big Show going to come out and they're going to reunite Jericho?
Oh, I thought that too. I was like, is he gonna come back out there and save Jericho? Shoot.
You think Jericho should get a run in AEW?
I hope not, but it would be funny.
So the crowd was hot. Again, yeah, I thought it was a good match. And then I don't know. I mean, as we kind of break it down, what do you think? I feel like this is not the end of that feud.
I don't think. I think the feud overall is going to be within the Don Callis family. Like, what is Okada going to think of this? Okada, will he try to get his gold back? Will this go up to Kyle Fletcher, Okada at some point? By All In, will that happen?
Well, I mean, but like, what about the Tommaso Ciampa Chris Jericho though? Like with that feud,
Oh,
like
that
is
feud.
that something to me?
Yeah,
Ciampa
I think
wins
that's over. Yeah, I think that's over.
over. You don't think
Yeah,
Jericho's going to get his?
no, that's funny. Where my brain think I was like, yeah, that segment's over. Let's talk about the next thing. Yeah,
Well, we can.
Jericho's over. I don't
Uh,
think so.
I mentioned that the show opens with
Mm,
that, but it opened with Kenny Omega in the backstage promo to kind of set
mm,
up what was going to be the big event. And it was even on social media, it was a lot of this one more time kind of
oh
mindset.
shit. Yeah,
Um,
had to feel like, man, this is gonna be it. He might retire after this. Retire in Clearwater, Florida. You know, that's where you retire, Florida.
yeah, yeah. Get a golf course membership and
Yeah.
hang out in the retirement homes of Estero. Um, he has the match of the night, but I do think Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher.
Mm,
This is a damn close second. I thought this was a great match.
yeah. Probably it. It was one of the best matches that wasn't the main event on the show, easily.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and I think we went into this show thinking, okay, Kenny and MJF, this is a toss-up.
Mm.
Kyle Fletcher ends up winning relatively clean. Like Don Callis, the
Oh
only
yeah.
thing he really does at one point is he kind of grabs at the foot of Takeshita in the corner, but I
Mm.
mean, it doesn't cost him the match.
No.
They go back and forth. They did some spots on the outside. You mentioned it. Takeshita did a Triple H kind of
Oh,
pose with the water.
they got that on camera, on video.
They did. Oh yeah, they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I wish Excalibur would have said it's all about the game and Takeshita's playing it.
Man,
But
only if they had a video game, they could promote that.
yeah, I don't even think Takeshita was in Fight Forever.
He's in the game if you play it on PC. There's a great modding scene with the game.
Interesting. Well, I will say that I was concerned he got legit hurt at the end of the match because Fletcher wins with a brainbuster on the top turnbuckle. And I'm telling you, like, typically you're trying to protect your opponent.
Yeah.
The angle that they show on TV, and they showed a replay, I mean, Takeshita, like, totally doinked his head off of that top turnbuckle. I mean, he landed. And, again, you were up in the air about that world title main event. Were you surprised with Fletcher winning to become the new AEW International Champion?
Definitely. I was like, wow, short title. Damn, I was like a short title reign. I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be either more shenanigans or something. And then it kind of put more doubt in my head. Like, oh, Kyle won. Are they going to have two title changes? I don't think they're going to. Is Kenny going to lose then?
Yeah. Yeah. And no Okada.
Oh, yeah, which is annoying. I showed up in my Okada shirt and then he doesn't show up.
Bitch.
Yeah, that's what it says on the shirt.
They and so another thing to be mindful of is obviously there's some wrestlers with dual contracts. Konosuke Takeshita is one of them with New Japan, and he is in the G1 Climax. So there's a thought right now going around the internet, at least, that we probably won't see Takeshita for a little bit. I mean, he should be back by Wembley. But I don't know that you're necessarily seeing him for redemption. So interesting. Obviously, you don't need every single title on the line at every pay-per-view. But I am curious to see where they'll go with Fletcher in the immediate future in terms of these next couple of weeks, because I think there is a belief. I don't think it's with him. I don't think it's with him.
Maybe.
Which we can jump into it, but I still think that Wembley could feature Fletcher, Takeshita, Okada, triple threat.
Oh.
Does Fletcher defend the title at Redemption? And I do, when we get to the end of this and we kind of give overall thoughts, I'll touch on that pay-per-view a little bit. But I will say this is another thing. Great show. They did what they needed to do to basically sell out the show. But TV viewership matters, right? And they certainly build it as a big episode of Dynamite. But Mick Foley comes out.
Oh yeah.
And this is Mick Foley's, and the commentary team says, this is Mick Foley's Dynamite debut. It's the first time he's appearing on TBS since 1994.
Jesus.
And they announced this on social media an hour before the show. And it's just like
at the show, I was like, wait, Mick Foley's gonna be? Oh, cool.
Like from a TV audience perspective, there's no way that Mick Foley just happened to be in Clearwater and Tony Khan called him at 5:00 and was like, would you be cool? Do you have your flannel?
Like, oh yeah, I'm actually at the beach chilling right now.
I don't know why. And it's not like he had a particularly prominent moment, but you could have said, hey, if you watch Dynamite tonight, Mick Foley's going to be there. I don't know.
For me, I don't know if that was going to even, I don't know if that's a big deal breaker to watch or not watch, but.
You could be right. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but he was there. He interviewed Kyle Fletcher. So he was there to do a post-match interview. It was a very, I appreciated the very sports type question, because he says to Fletcher, hey, you got the big win. You're the new international champion, but I want to go, what into the mentality, what into the psyche did you see in that match to get you the win? It was totally like in hockey when someone's like, what did you see in that rush down to score the goal? So I thought that was funny. And obviously Fletcher, blew that question off. And then Don Callis ends up getting in Mick's face. He's taking time away from young talent, which allowed Mick to talk about his two dogs that he's lost and how their photos are on his shoes, which he will help put up Don Callis's ass.
Yeah, you said that in an elaborate way instead of, I would take these shoes and stick it straight up your candy ass. Oh, hell yeah.
If he would have done that,
Yeah.
yeah, he may have gotten a cease and desist from WWE if he would have done
Take the
that. But
size 8.5, stick it straight up your Don Callis candy ass. You Rudy
woo!
Fruity Booty. Woo!
Now, can you dig that, sucker?
Oh, you're not down with that. I got 2 words for you. Suck it.
I actually think that would have been the best way to use him if he would have just done gimmick infringement the whole time.
I thought Billy Gunn was gonna show up tonight. They had matches. I'm like, oh, we're gonna do a triple threat tag team match, but we saw Mystico.
I did see that. Yeah, Mystico was on that pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Mick Foley thing allowed then
Mm-hmm.
for Andrade to come out, and he does the how you know. The fans are totally
Oh
over
yeah,
it now. Now,
yeah.
I think what's interesting though is, and this is the only thing we have announced for next week. So Andrade said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take one of the championships from the Don Callis family because, I mean, if you look at it, they've quietly became the mid card because Kevin Knight is the TNT champion, Fletcher is the international champion, and we did see Mark Davis back on TV. So his visa issues must have been resolved,
Mm-hmm.
and he is so now you've got 3 members of the Don Callis family holding championship gold, and it is going to be uh it looks like
Mm-hmm.
possibly Andrade for the national championship because next week on Dynamite, Andrade said he wants to take a title, and Don Callis said, "Okay, if you can beat Jake Doyle next week, you will get a title shot at Mark Davis for the national championship." So who knows?
Oh, okay.
Perhaps that'll be a match for redemption.
It was one of those things with the arena audio. I couldn't understand what was happening. I was like, oh, match next week. Who? Or Doyle's. I thought they're just going to do the match next week for the title. I'm like, okay, cool.
Did you see? They then chased Andrade backstage where they would also find Darby. And did you see
Oh yeah,
Darby?
that was awesome.
Another one of his booby traps.
Booby traps. Gotta love the booby traps. Speaking of Darby,
What is this?
I got a NWO moment.
Oh my God! He's the third man.
It was me, Darby. It was Darby all along.
What a sick shirt.
Yeah, Darby had more bombs apparently. They're
Dude.
legal in Florida.
Brian Cage better get a match with him after he got his face exploded off.
Insane. Brian Cage
Crazy.
is hella jacked in person.
Oh,
He looks big.
yeah.
He looks big
Yeah.
on TV. He looks big from 335 feet away. So I don't want to mess with that cookie.
So yeah, they go into the back. They have a little fight, and Brian Cage steals Darby Allin's skateboard, getting ready to hit him with it, and
Yeah.
that's when a pyrotechnic goes off, and apparently Andrade hit the button to do it, and they're like, "It was you," and he goes, "How you know?"
I really wish we would have saw Leo Rush. Leo Rush would be like, he knows or something. We would have added to the chaos there.
I did think, like, as they were fighting around back there, I thought, I wonder if Leo Rush will appear here, but
Yeah,
not
he
to
didn't
be.
do anything crazy backstage, or even with the giant the lifeguard chair. He didn't do anything with that. I've been funny with him interacting with Mercedes.
Well, I mean, you got the lifeguard chair spot later in the Omega match.
Oh, true.
But and before then, and I'm not sure, I can't remember if this went before that Don Callis or before Fletcher to catch her, if it was after or whatever. But we did see again another interaction between MJF and Will Ospreay backstage, leads to a brawl where they got separated. But you know, MJF continues saying, "Hey, I'll see you at Wembley," and I don't know that he will be anymore, but we'll get to that later.
Who knows? So much time between Wembley.
Yeah. But that was a good little scrum, and then we did get to what I consider to be one of the lower points. I felt like overall I thought it was a great show. But I think 2 matches in a row were not the best. That being they had Ospreay and Mox against the Workhorsemen, JD Drake, and
I'm like, the big guy in that group, I recognize him. I'm like, oh yeah, he's cool, he's good, but like this is Beach Break. You have like a pay-per-view card. Like there's so many people on the AEW roster. You're telling me you couldn't have you couldn't have Leo Rush, the Demand, or something.
Yeah, well, and my thing is, when you do matches like this, I will live with them if they are squash matches. This
Oh
match
yeah,
went almost 10 minutes.
they gave these guys way too much offense. Like they're cool, but
Yeah.
like maybe like 2 minutes of offense, and let's have this match end quick because then you can get more time for other matches, the women's
Yep.
casino, or even the main event. They gave themselves plenty of time
Yeah.
to go over.
Moxley's uber giving, always has been. But you know, him and Osprey do eventually get the win. Mox,
Mm.
I forget what he hit something, and then it led into the hidden blade from Osprey. Little combo.
Yeah, I don't, I don't really remember that
Whatever.
much. It was Hidden Blade. There was a cool cutter in the middle of the match at some point, so it's always good to see Moxley with the RKO.
Yeah.
Their voices.
That was so that was that. They got the win, whatever. I think another thing too, the women's casino gauntlet. I love the casino gauntlet match
Mm.
type. I felt like this one was maybe one of the not as exciting ones as I've seen in the past. Um, I think there were what 9 or 10 women, and not a whole lot, but certainly it
Oh
was
no,
done for it was done for a reason,
done
and
for
that
the
was
last person to come out for
the
Willow to make her surprise return, and the whole crowd went crazy there. I don't know if it sounded as loud on TV as it did in person, but that was probably one of the loudest pops of the night.
did you see it coming?
Not really, because like one of those matches where like I don't know who's going to be in it. I don't know how many people are going to be in it. How long this match will go to. So it was a lot. I knew she was going to win as soon as she came out there, but
Right.
didn't think that would be the last person.
So Mercedes is watching the match from the lifeguard chair up near the stage. Tekla is on
Mm.
commentary. Have you heard any of the Tekla isms?
I have not. I don't. What did Tekla say? Anything funny? Anything good? Anything about these toxic bitches? Or
Yeah. They were so I think at one point during the show they talked about, it is a casino gauntlet match, and she said
mm,
the last time I was at a casino, I walked out with $10,000 and had a stripper in my room.
mm.
And we're like, okay. And then Mina Shirakawa, she was like something about Mina's, chest, and was like,
mm.
I'd love to motorboat her. And the commentary team just completely did not react to it at all.
Yeah, because she did that spot in the middle of the ring. She goes like that, and then probably at that point she said that. I would assume.
Yeah. So, did you take me off the screen?
Oh yeah, I try to have you in the center here so I can look at you, but I forgot to have it. I don't have it on the application capture, so I'll work on that next time.
Yeah, next time, especially on the
Next
live
time on
version. Come on,
Dynamite.
bro. Willow though, yeah, she came out to the big pop. I think within 2 minutes after coming out, she won the match, power
Oh
bomb
yeah.
to Julia Hart. And so we have not seen a graphic for it, but it is our first official, I believe, officially confirmed match for AEW Redemption.
It's got
Willow
to, yeah.
Nightingale versus Tekla for the AEW Women's World Championship.
I have a feeling that this is going to end up being a triple threat at All In.
There's a lot of potential triple threats
Yeah,
at
like
All In right now.
they should call the show All In triple threat All In or something like that.
All In three ways.
Ah,
Who doesn't love one?
yeah, yeah. There you go. That's the title.
Because I mean, my gut tells me Willow's winning this match.
Mm,
You know, should mention though that Mercedes came out because after the match, Julia went to take Willow out with the women's title.
mm.
Mercedes runs down, takes Tekla out, only to use her Owen Hart women's title to hit Willow. And then in the background, it was kind of lost on TV until the very end when Mercedes kind of poses. But Lena Cross and Megan Bayne, Divine Dominion tag
Oh yeah, they're
champions.
out there.
Yeah, they're standing there, and the commentary team makes it sound like there's a working relationship between them and Mercedes. So we'll see where that
Seemed
goes.
like it because she literally just walked past them. Like they're like right here, and then she walked straight in the middle of them. They didn't even flinch or care. They're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, and
Different person there.
Divine Dominion took out the toxic triangle or whatever because they took out Sky Blue and Julia Hart at the
Oh,
stage. So,
I
all
got
right.
ice cream during the match. I got a strawberry ice cream on a
Who
cone.
did?
Me.
Whoa. How
I
was
got
it?
up right. It was good. I got up right before they did the promo for this match, and I was like, I saw the Ben and Jerry's. There's a Chick-fil-A next to it. Like, we will be back under these commercial breaks. Oh, I had a there you go. How it was? How was the ice cream? The ice cream was really good. I enjoyed it, and I would go back for seconds.
Would or did?
Would I would
Okay. All right.
just like the show?
Did
I
you?
would go back to Clearwater for
We
another beach
we're
break.
coming off that. We're coming off that quick break on beach break.
Yeah. There we go.
Uh,
Ish.
couple of things that also happened during the show before we get to the
Mm,
main event. Kind of overall thoughts. Quick backstage segment or like vignette for the Brawling Birds, which uh,
yeah.
Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. I think we know where this is going. They're both. Well, I don't know if Windsor is, but I know Jamie Hayter's British. Um,
Mm.
all in Wembley Stadium. They're probably going to be winning the tag belts.
I hope so because they've been promoting these two people for the longest, and I kind of don't think the U.S. audience is their home base, so they better win it at their home base so people care.
And then another segment backstage, kind of weird. They interview Speedball Mike Bailey, and the interview
Mm.
starts with asking him, "Hey, I'm sure you're targeting Kevin Knight," and he says
Mm.
no. He says, "I don't want to talk about Kevin Knight right now."
Yeah.
Uh, and he challenges Mark Davis on Collision. So for the national championship, which I would assume Davis is going to win because they teased Andrade and Mark Davis earlier in the night.
Yeah.
Um, right now we do have they didn't really talk about it much during the show tonight, but before we get to the main event, Collision this Saturday, it's going to
Mm.
be in Roanoke, Virginia. They have 3 matches announced, all championship matches. The TBS title, Hikaru Shida, who also had a vignette
Yeah.
about winning the belt
I
from
seen
last
her.
week.
She took a photo at the beach
Oh,
online.
hell, she's a heel. What is she doing?
She's just posing.
Well, she'll make her first title defense against Harley Cameron. So
Oh.
that'll be on Collision. Mark Davis versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the AEW
Mm.
National Championship, and the ROH World Title is on the line. Bandito will defend against Katsuyori Shibata from the Ops.
Oh. Oh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, some okay matches, you
Mm.
know, but the big one, the main event, Kenny Omega, MJF. I mean, so again, on
Insane.
TV, on TV watching this, the presentation in the lead up with the entrance and everything, like
Mm.
obviously you knew it was a big deal, but like it felt big and like it felt like the crowd was like really fucking into this
Yeah,
right from the
we're
hop.
jumping. The whole crowd was jumping because earlier they did a promo with Kenny Omega. He said Young Bucks aren't here, and his friend from Japan from back. I have bad names, but someone else is there.
Yeah,
Such
Michael
as the
Nakazawa.
Michael Nakazawa was there, but he wasn't there for the match. But
Yeah.
one of the best matches. I was up there. They're fighting in the crowd, and somehow they come right in my area.
Yeah, we were looking for you because we were
Yeah,
joking. I was like, man, they're going pretty far back, and
yeah.
I know you ended up by the time you ended up getting the tickets, it was toward the
Mm.
back of the venue. So we didn't
I
see you
lucked
on there,
out.
but you had
Hey,
a hell of a
if you
booth.
see a guy with a white shirt that says "bitch" on it with a cut on it, that's probably me.
We're gonna have to look again.
Yeah, with a
This
microscope.
I was a little worried because on the time on TV, I want to say this match got going right around 10:50
Yeah.
or 9:50, sorry, Eastern time.
Mm.
And I thought, okay, MJF got squashed by Brody in an eliminator match earlier in the year. He lost to Darby in like 3 minutes for the title on a
Yeah.
Dynamite earlier in the year. Don't tell me that this is going to end in a squash. And
I
thankfully,
was
it did
thinking
not.
that. But as a fan there, we knew in advance that the show was going to go till 10:30, potentially 10:30.
How did you know that?
On the schedule, there, at least on my calendar, that's what it says, 10:30. So they probably posted
Oh,
stuff about that online, shared the calendar event with a friend, so she put information in and stuff. So
interesting. Okay. So yeah, I mean they thankfully they did get an overrun and
mm.
bell to bell the match went over 20 minutes. Was the
Oh yeah.
longest match on the show. Yeah, hell of a crowd fight and they had main evented so they main evented AEW Dynasty in April for the
Mm.
title. That match at Dynasty went I want to say somewhere between like it was I want to say it was around 35 minutes.
Mm.
And this match was about 10 to 12 minutes shorter than that. I thought this was the better of the two matches. In my opinion, this is a match of
Mm.
the year candidate for AEW.
I would agree, but I'm also was there in person for this one. This
Right.
kind of hard to say. And then I was up close to the action when they fought in the crowd and great atmosphere being there. Interesting because at multiple points, I don't know if Kenny got sand in his eye. He was going for the eye multiple times. They're like an eye rake or something that I missed, or is just sand.
Well, they fought all over the place, and so
Yeah,
they're fighting in the crowd. He throws MJF into like a pile of chairs that go flying. I'm sure that was real easy
yeah.
and convenient for security to have to reorganize that. And then they go up to the stage, and that's when Kenny jumps off of the lifeguard chair, a moonsault,
Oh yeah.
a no look moonsault. He did not look back. And so that goes to show when you don't talk about kayfabe, I mean,
Mm.
clearly a lot of trust between those two with one
Oh,
another.
definitely.
And they're both great performers. Hell of a moonsault. That may have been when the sand in the eye came in.
Mm.
Kenny ended up getting tombstoned onto a chair by ringside. Like, really, when I think about it, a lot of this match took place outside the ring.
It's yeah. It was felt like a hardcore match, a false counting, no count out kind of thing. I don't. It just I'm pretty sure it was just like a normal match, but AEW is really lenient in these title matches. Luckily, they kind of let some things go.
Yeah, I was saying to the guys on Xbox when we were watching that because the match, I mean, basically starts with that crowd brawl.
Mm.
And I said, damn well, this was a WWE Raw or SmackDown main event for a championship. That would have ended in a ring out count. It would have went off the air with them brawling like in a 2-minute match.
It would have been something stupid, actually. It would have been if that didn't happen to be like, oh, the referee is at 9. I'm like, bro, they've been outside fighting for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They just beat the count.
What oh, there was a question I wanted to ask
Mm.
because we talked about it. I don't know if you would have noticed, maybe from your view it would have been difficult.
Mm.
So there's a rare moment where they actually have an announce table break in AEW.
Oh yeah, this
They'll
is
they'll use the table a lot, but they don't often have it break. Now, we notice right off the bat, this announce table, and at this point, we've on this side of the ring, we've seen
mm.
Takeshita and Fletcher fight outside, we've seen Ciampa and Jericho fight outside, and all of a sudden the announce table looked like it was considerably closer to the ring
Oh,
than what it was earlier in the night. Uh,
I didn't notice them moving it or anything. So thing is,
Maybe
with a
we're
show
wrong.
like this, there's people pretty. There was a big fella in front of me, so his
Oh,
kid. So people were like, "Oh, sit down." He's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to sit down." But I'm like, "Dude, your kid could stand. He's a kid needs to
yeah,
see. You're not picking your kid up. You're just standing next to him, being a big
the
wall."
worst.
So that was
It's the
kind of
worst.
annoying. So I had to look
Uh,
at the monitor, the big screens, probably like right over here in real life in that area. Big
well, I
screens.
will the announce table spot comes from Kenny hitting a running V trigger on MJF, who's standing on the apron, and MJF does like a somersault into this table. I mean, the break of it was pretty
Yeah,
sick.
it was like a Timu table. I'm like, oh, they got the Timu table, thank God.
Yeah,
Then it gets that hard Japanese American made Japanese table. Ain't
yeah.
no break.
Tons of spots in this match.
Mm.
At one point, MJF goes to grab the title to use on Kenny. The referee
The ref,
takes the
yeah.
title away, allowing MJF
MJF
to
goes
read.
towards his panties and gets the diamond ring and someone comes out and who is it? Will Osprey, Osprey, oi, oi, oi. Comes back out there, he gets the ring.
And it was took the ring off of MJF.
Mm,
But then I thought the match was going to end on like I thought Osprey would have unintentionally screwed Kenny
mm,
because MJF then saw Kenny with the title, who went to hit him. Naturally, Kenny's like, wait a minute, I'm not a bad guy anymore. So as
mm.
MJF is on his knees, he stands there hovering over him with the title, doesn't hit him. MJF with a low blow, grabs the title, hits Kenny.
Yeah, it's
Oh
insane.
no.
I thought it was
And,
over.
uh, and Kenny kicks out at 1.
Fuck it. The whole crowd was starting to jump. This is when people knew something. Kenny was probably going to win this at this moment.
I thought like that moment at home. I mean, that was so for me, I agree. The Willow
Mm,
pop you talked about earlier.
mm.
This one, I was like, that crowd sounds like they're fucking nuts.
Oh, yeah. To the very end, the crowd just got louder and louder and louder from that moment.
And Kenny goes to hit a series of V triggers, including one normally hits it on like the side of the person's head when their back is
Mm.
turned. And this one, he just leveled MJF face first
Insane.
uh, into the one winged angel. 1, 2, 3, and
My
a
whole
month
area
and a
was
half.
jumping. My whole area was jumping. Everyone's celebrating, going crazy. Like literally jumping. Not
Were you
metaphorically.
jumping?
Yes, I was jumping. I was like, oh shit.
Crazy. And so, man, a month and a half before the biggest show of the year, a world title change. And for the second time, and it's been a long time, Kenny
Mm.
hasn't been champion in almost 5 years, but Kenny Omega is a 2-time.
1,698 days.
Do you
I
have that
remember
stat?
that. Yep, online, Twitter. If Twitter's
Wow.
correct.
We'll go with it. It's got to be. Everything you read on the internet is true.
Thank God.
And what I thought was interesting,
Mm,
so obviously great show to kind of, I guess, an extended wrap up for us and talking
mm.
about everything. What I thought was interesting was they put the Wembley graphic up, all
Oh yeah.
in
I was surprised.
Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, and I for the AEW World Championship. And I will say, commentary, Excalibur said, as it currently stands,
Oh, cool. Good.
it will be this. So I do think that was worth commentary mentioning. We had talked about Hangman coming back. He did not. Um, Kenny basically beats MJF clean.
Mm,
Uh, Now, I think the reason they say as it currently stands is because you do have the opportunity still. The question now is this a triple threat at Wembley Stadium? But I'll tell you, man, like, I don't know. The more I'm like, I think it could be,
mm,
but like, you put that graphic up, and I think that's a way. And so, the speaking of numbers, you were bringing up Kenny's
mm,
number. Here's the reality: AEW for the third time in the last 4 years is running Wembley Stadium for All In. We saw it happen this past year when WWE ran WrestleMania
mm,
a second year in a row in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. They had a drop in tickets.
mm,
Um, AEW had 81,000 people there in 2023, 55,000 people there in 2024, and they are currently around 28,000,
mm,
which is not great. Ticketmaster had actually just put an offer out earlier in the week that they are doing select seats are now 50% off
okay.
to try and get people in the building.
Yeah.
So when you look now, I think the idea was, and I don't know. I mean, Tony's not really one to pivot, it would seem, but I think the idea was okay. We're going to shotgun this instead of doing it at Redemption. Let's do it now. Let's get the graphic
Mm,
out now, and let's see where we're at in a week from now when we do Dynamite. Has this resulted in a ticket drive between
mm,
the ticket discount and now we're telling you what the main event is? Is this the biggest match AEW could present? Like logically, I mean, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, with the story, is this the biggest match? And will the ticket sales tell you that? I think that's what they need to look for now, because I think for a while it was kind of a conclusion. Like, I think a lot of people, myself included, felt it was going to be MJF and Will Ospreay for the title there.
Mm.
And as much as we talk about MJF being a draw, and he is, there is some novelty, especially for the hardcores out there. You're going to get a Kenny Omega Will Ospreay one-on-one. This is kind of like a legendary feud that they don't have too many installments of. A lot of people believe the two best like in-ring wrestlers. Um, is that a draw to get tickets in the door? And does it make more sense for it to be a one-on-one?
I think either way, AEW should hopefully get damn near to a sellout, depending on any new people that show up to the promotion. I think they're they're in safe hands there.
I mean, I
Selling
think
out.
that I don't think they're going to sell out. I think what they
That's
need to
good.
hope for, they're not. I mean, they're not going to sell 50,000 tickets in a month and a half. But can they move 10,000? Like,
Mm.
to can they get to roughly 40,000 and have a respectable finish there? Because I don't think they're coming back to Wembley for a while, if ever. I don't know.
Mm.
Um, and they've got to load this up, and so kind of leaving this show now. Uh, I think overall thoughts. Great show. Not trying to take anything away
Mm.
from it, but you are 2.5 weeks out from a AEW Redemption pay-per-view, which is a new pay-per-view added to the cycle.
Mm.
And oh man, I paused back-to-back times, James.
Pause. Back to back.
What the
Oh,
hell? Okay,
there we go.
now you stop it.
Stop it.
But you've got a pay-per-view in 2.5 weeks, and you have one match, which is for the women's title, and you didn't even put a graphic up for it. So, you know,
Mm.
it's hard not to sit there and think like, what is redemption? And does it end up being this like super B level pay-per-view and AEW's in kind of a tough spot because it's like you've got to move tickets for this
Mm.
redemption pay-per-view. Then you have to move tickets for Wembley because it's your biggest show of the year.
Mm.
And you're taking some bold swings here. I mean, like, seeing online too, what like I think where do you go from here? And specifically, I guess what I mean is redemption. Where do you go? Because like is there are we running this match back? Because to me
Yeah.
now I sit there and go, what is the biggest match that you can do for redemption? Because that's one thing, and I've complained about it before, and I think AEW
Mm.
has done good. I think they've done good for a while at not doing this. This is kind of I feel like an old flaw rearing its head. I loved Beach Break,
Mm.
but to be 2 weeks out and presumably, let's just guess with the way Collision's typically booked, I don't know that you're going to get anything announced on Collision for Redemption. So you're going to
Mm.
go into Dynamite next week, a week and a half out of a pay-per-view with one match scheduled. It's probably going to make for a really like story-filled Dynamite, which is great.
Mm.
But like, man, for the fans in Montreal waiting for that pay-per-view, and I just think overall from like a booking aspect, that's not like I personally don't like that.
I think they're probably putting a lot of hope and trust in Cope and Christian and probably Kenny here to sell a lot of tickets there at the tail end going into the show of Redemption.
What do you think should be the main event of Redemption?
If Kenny's wrestling, Kenny should be in the main event.
I mean, I think he
Or
has to,
Jericho.
right?
I don't think Jericho, also another Canadian legend here. I don't think he's also going to be able to main event. So I've got to have Kenny. For me, this question is like, what do you think Jericho's going to do about Redemption? Do you think he's going to face Tommaso?
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I believe that's going to continue. But like to me, I think now you've got the interesting angle, and I saw somebody posted this online. I thought it was a good idea. When I look at the field of challengers,
Mm.
this for Kenny, like okay, let's look at the Don Callis family, Andrade, Kevin Knight. To me, that's just not a pay-per-view main event right now. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Knight and Kenny Omega, because Kevin Knight's been talking about the world title. I just don't
Mm.
think that's your main event. Andrade, like in 2 weeks, you're doing Mexico. I think that's where you get him at Grand Slam Mexico.
Mm,
So I don't feel like those guys are in that mix. Now, Swerve Strickland's been off TV for a couple of weeks. He's been
mm,
active on Twitter about AEW. And earlier in the year, we saw them face off twice. Swerve won a match, Kenny won a match. Could you do
mm.
the rubber match here at Redemption? I think that would be a hell of a main
Yeah,
event.
good way to even it out because one person's won, another person's won. Affirmative winner of this kind of feud.
And then there's two other options that I see as viable. One is MJF, because if we're getting into a triple threat, that feels like a way. Feels like a way to get MJF in. But I don't know that you have Kenny win the belt to lose it 2 weeks later, for MJF to win the belt to lose it a month later. But I mean, in terms of a ticket drawing match,
Yeah.
that might be your biggest match that you can sell at Redemption is the rematch. And the other one, which I saw somebody post online, and this didn't even register to me,
Mm.
is what if the main event was Kenny defending the title against John Moxley?
That would be interesting.
And I just went on a rant last week with you about, when is this actually going to end? When's the turn coming? Do we really know? But is it possible that something occurs there to further the story of Osprey versus Omega, create that seed of doubt and divide now between Osprey and the rest of the Death Riders?
Mm.
Um, and if you did that, does Osprey face MJF at Redemption? Because they've been teasing those two getting a one-on-one again. So it does kind of feel weird to abandon that.
Man, that's a good question. I feel like that'd be a good way because then you get your MJF match, you get an Osprey match, you get to see Mox, you also get to see Kenny. I think that's probably one of the best ways you can get to utilize your talent to sell as many tickets as possible.
And I think it potentially works well for, like, Redemption is going to serve, it has to, I think, at this point,
Mm.
serve as a feeder into All In.
Yeah, kind of like a Royal Rumble, kind of like a Elimination Chamber. Like you kind of, I'd say probably like an Elimination Chamber. Like you see the all
Yeah.
the opponents, you already know who's kind of gonna win this because you have one person tell with the big story here. That's Osprey.
Yeah. Yeah. There was, I guess there, and this is newsworthy.
Mm.
Completely forgot to mention this. The one segment we didn't talk about on Beach Break. Jack Perry has re-signed.
Oh, oh yeah, they showed like a little video vignette of him saying, um, tired of people telling him what his future, pretty much being like, I'm tired of people telling me what I should do what I want to do.
Yeah, no details on the contract yet. I would assume it's
Mm.
multi-year. But and it wasn't a surprise, I think. But I will
Well,
say
to
that,
the
like,
NXT fans
showing,
out there, no Jungle Boy at the NXT arena.
yeah,
Yeah, I
well,
saw a fun photo edit of that on Twitter a couple months ago.
I think they're. I also will say that them, like, there's a lot of times guys sign contract extensions or new contracts, and, like, it's never really, or it's not often publicized in the way that AEW did theirs. So I do
Mm.
wonder if that means, hey, like, there will be another push coming for him. He brought up the idea of winning the AEW world title. And I mean, you never know where things can go. He is young,
Yeah,
in 3 years, what does his character look like? I would say right now there's a pretty heavy list ahead of him.
yeah,
Um,
fella.
oh God, not for the world title, not for
Yeah,
the
I should
world
bring
title.
that redheaded guy,
Yeah,
Sheamus.
yeah, ashamed to fame. Maybe that's why MJF lost. Maybe he's going to face off against Sheamus at All In.
I don't know. Maybe a cool Dynamite. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
You know.
but yeah, well, that's it. So yeah, I
Overall,
mentioned the
what's your
collision
thoughts
stuff.
of the show as a person watching at home?
I think it was great. Again, I think the low points were tag match and the
Yeah.
women's casino gauntlet. And not even to say that they were like bad. It's just they were not as exciting. But overall, I mean, I think you got three really good matches. The Jericho Ciampa match was good. Takeshita Fletcher was better than that, and Kenny and MJF was the best. I think AEW has been, cooking with some big time, story developments, and I think as you get into next week, it will be exciting because I think the vibes that I get are this week was a little more like structured going in, and you
Yeah.
knew what was going to happen. And I think next week, I mean, they'll undoubtedly announce some things on social media, but um, I would not be surprised if next week is one of those like 16 segment dynamites where it's
Yeah.
okay, we're going into it with one match announced. How do we get to 7 matches for redemption?
Mm.
But you know what? But I've said this before, and when we talked about it going into Forbidden Door, you and I had spoken. I remember saying at the end of one of these podcasts that hey, next week you've got to build interest to Forbidden Door. I think you need to build interest to Redemption while
Mm.
keeping All In obviously in the spotlight. But that's for a different time. That's for next week when they're in Boston. But as for this week, yeah, I thought it was great at home, and I mean, you said it there. Probably one of your favorite AEW shows you've gone to.
Oh, definitely. I gotta count how many, but it's been a lot. Great AEW shows. I haven't been to a bad AEW show, which is a great thing I can say about AEW. Worth every
Yeah,
dollar.
yeah, for sure. Well, uh, I guess we. Oh, and I guess in a side wrestling
Mm.
news note for AEW, because they did have a lower third graphic come up. They
Mm.
always do when they announce future shows. Uh, All Out, they are beginning to get their schedule ready post All In when they return
Mm.
to North America after going to Europe. And All Out is coming up 4 weeks after All In, and it will be
Mm.
at the Now Arena in Chicago. I've been there. I've been there for one All Out. I've been to three All Outs. This will be, I think last year I went to All Out last year in Toronto, but other
Mm.
than that, every All Out has been in Chicago. They continue to get
Yeah, that's
spoiled.
interesting. Chicago just had a big match with CM Punk beating Sami Zayn on a Monday Night Raw, and now they're gonna get another probably good Chicago show with AEW.
They are more than that, dude. So they had Punk return, beat
Mm.
Sami Zayn with the WWE title on Monday. This weekend, they've got the G1 Climax
Oh
for
shit.
New Japan. Then next month, on in
Mm.
August, they've got TNA Lockdown. So
Oh.
this is TNA's pay-per-view where every match is in a steel cage. And it's a pay-per-view, and then the following month they
Yeah.
have All Out. So to be honest, for AEW, I had no doubt that they would go back for a pay-per-view to Chicago. They always do, but I was a little surprised that maybe they didn't stick with like they did World's End last year there, and maybe give it a little bit of
Oh,
time to breathe because I do think they might have some
a lot of
challenges,
wrestling.
a lot of wrestling before them, big shows before them. So, hopefully it works out for them there. But the current focus is obviously redemption and All
Mm.
In, and next week's Dynamite to get us there.
Well, with that being said, I think stay tuned, or hopefully the video is uploaded, but watch the vlog right now.
Yes.
Any other words you want to say?
No, I'm excited to see your vlog. James has put out some vlogs before of some AEW shows that we've seen some decent viewership. So it'd be
Yeah.
nice
I'm
to
excited to
get that
watch it
again.
too. I just put it on my phone, put all the clips, made sure everything was decent, and put a highlight in the beginning of the video and add a little transition. So I'm curious to go back and watch the main event because I pretty much recorded the majority of the main event. No cuts. Everything else is a little minute there, minute two there. Nothing too crazy. But the main event, I'm glad I did because the action came close to me. I didn't want to try to get my phone out. I already have it out. All good. Well,
I'm excited to watch it as well.
next podcast should be after the show this time. Going, I think maybe live again. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think the live setup was pretty good. What's your thoughts on doing the show live?
Easy to do it. Yeah. Happy to do it. Whatever makes it easier and gets out to people quicker is always nice.
Mm. That crackle, we're gonna be snap, crackling, and popping our way out of Dynamite